Hello, Maurice here. So, are you new to Axie Origins? If so, this is the perfect video for you, as I'll go through the basic mechanics of the game, and this is the perfect time to get into Axie Origins. Because in Season 2 there will be a big revamp, which means effectively it's a new game to everyone and nobody knows how it's gonna go. If you've already played Axie Origins a bit and want to improve your gameplay, you can skip to the part of the video where I introduce the concept of effect per energy, which I think is very important in gaining an advantage in Axie Origins. Okay, so first let's talk about what are Axies. Axies are basically these cute creatures here where there are 9 classes of Axies, and different classes are good at doing different things. What sets each class apart is that the class of the Axies determines what rune the Axie can equip. So for example, plant runes can only be equipped by plant Axies. And you can see that different runes give Axies different abilities. So for example, plants are good at healing because they get runes that buff the healing, whereas birds are good at dealing damage because birds get runes that buff damage. But how do Axies actually heal and attack? And here is where cards come in. And each Axies has 6 cards, each corresponding to a particular body part. And there are different types of cards. So there are some that are attack cards that do damage, there are some skill cards that heal or shield, etc. And you can also buff each individual card by equipping charms. So each charm uses a particular number of potential points, but I don't think I'll get into this in this video. I'll let you explore this particular mechanic on your own. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is that each card belongs to a particular class. And so you have to match the class of the charm and the card. So what I mean by that is that, for example, if you have a beast charm, you can only equip it to a beast card. Now, having said that, Axies of any class can have cards from any class. What I mean by that is, you can have a plant Axies that have some beast and aqua and reptile cards. So a plant Axie doesn't mean that it only has plant cards, it can have cards from other classes. So the combination of runes, cards and charms adds to the complexity of the game, and that's basically, I feel, what makes Axie Origins fun to play. Okay, so now you know what are Axies and you know about the cards, then let's talk about what is the actual game or battle mechanics. So each player has 3 Axies, meaning you have 18 cards because each Axie has 6 cards. And it's a turn-based game, meaning each player takes a turn. So player 1 goes first, and then player 2, and then back to player 1, and then back to player 2, etc. Each player draws some cards at the beginning of the turn, and each card has a particular energy cost, as you can see it in the card's top left hand corner. So you spend your energy to play your cards. And of course, each turn you get a particular amount of energy. And there's actually a new mechanic called Energy Burst, which again I'll let you explore on your own, which allows you to increase the amount of energy you get and the amount of card draw per turn. So in terms of the actual game mechanic, you use your cards to either attack, to shield, to heal and do other things. And the goal of the game is pretty simple. It's really just to knock out your opponent's Axies before they knock out yours. That's basically it. But what makes this Axie Origin game fun to play is that there are a lot of synergies that exist between the runes, the cards and the charms, and you can build different teams or Axie teams around different synergies. And a lot of the time it involves maximizing your effect per energy spent. So what I mean by that, okay, so for example, this is an attack card called Leafy, and it randomly deals 3 hits, and at the base level each hit does 20 damage, which means at the base level it does 60 damage, right? And that's 60 damage per energy spent because this card costs 1 energy. But then if you read the card text, it says deal 10 bonus damage for each leaf consumed, and it can consume up to 3 leaves. So if you have 3 leaves, leaves are buffs basically. So if you have 3 leaves, then it does 30 extra damage per hit, which means then it does 20 plus the 30, which gives you 50 damage per hit, and you do 3 hits, and so it comes up to a total of 150 damage per energy spent, and that is a lot more than 60, obviously. So by maximizing the effects per energy spent definitely can give you an advantage over your opponent during the battle. And there are a lot more synergies out there that either maximizes your effects per energy spent, or alternatively minimizing your opponent's effects per energy spent. So for example, there are runes that mitigate damage. And another thing that I should mention also is that now I've focused on per energy spent, but of course there are effects that allows you to gain more energy or ramped up to higher energy per turn. So those are also will give you an advantage during the battle. I hope you enjoy playing Axie Infinity Origins. I'm planning to make more educational videos on Axie Origins, so stay tuned and watch out for my future videos where I'll go through the cards, runes, and charms of each class in Origins Season 2. If you enjoyed my video, do consider subscribing to my channel. I also have a Lunacian code if you want to use it, and thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.